sharp like the edge of a blade. Every move I make is a power play. Grace in my stride, wisdom in my mind. I built the kind of life I dreamed I'd find. I've become the woman I look up to, strong and untouchable. It's what I do, radiating power, confidence so high. I'm not just living, I'm learning to fly. Men may desire, but I defy me. Unstoppable force, wild and free. I've become the woman I look up to, and I'm loving every shade of truth. Every scar, every tear. Rewriting my identity. Who am I now? Welcome back to Becoming Her. I'm your host, Colina Chippy. Today's episode is an invitation into one of the most important questions a woman can ask herself during growth. Who am I now? Not who I used to be, not who I was expected to be, not who I became to survive, but who am I now? After healing, after unlearning, the patience, the becoming. This episode is about rewriting identity, gentle, honest, and intentional. We all outgrow old identities. There comes a moment in every woman's journey when the old label no longer fits. The old roles feels tight. The old expectations feel heavy. The old version of yourself feels distant. And yet, the new version hasn't fully formed yet. This in-between season can feel confusing, like standing between two mirrors, unsure which reflection is real. But outgrowing an identity is not a crisis, it's a calling. You're not lost when you no longer recognize your old self. You are evolving. Growth will always disrupt familiarity. When you begin to feel uncomfortable with who you used to be, it's often because your spirit is preparing you to step into someone more aligned, more honest, and more whole. Identity is shaped by experience. So much of who we think we are is shaped by what we've lived through. What hurt us, what we survived, what had to become, what we had to become to cope, what we learned in silence, what we learned to tolerate. For a long time, survival becomes identity, but survival is not the same as self. You may have been the strong one because you had no choice, the quiet one because it was safer, the giver because you wanted to be loved. But those roles are responses, not definitions. And now that you're healing, you're allowed to ask, who am I when I'm no longer living in survival mode? Who am I? Rewriting identity requires honesty. Rewriting who you are requires truth, not the polished truth, not the social acceptable truth, but the honest, uncomfortable feeling truth, freeing truth. It means admitting what no longer aligns. It means naming what you no longer desire. It means releasing identities that were built on fear instead of love. You cannot rewrite your identity while clinging to the old narratives. The version of you that is emerging needs space, permission, and compassion. Honesty is not about judgment, it's about clarity. And clarity is what allows identity to evolve. Before we go deeper, I want to share something that's deeply connected to this conversation. My book, Becoming Her, A Journey Back to Myself. It explores this very process, returning to yourself after seasons of loss, survival, and transformation. It's about peeling back the layers and remembering who you are beneath everything life placed on you. If this episode resonates, the book will meet you gently. The link is in the description. Check it out. Now, you are allowed to change your mind. One of the most powerful acts of growth is allowing yourself to change your mind about what you want, about who you are, about what matters now, about what no longer does. You don't owe consistency to the old version of yourself. Changing your mind doesn't make you unstoppable or unstable. Changing your mind doesn't make you unstable. It makes you self-aware. The woman you are becoming has access to more wisdom than the woman you were. Let her lead. Let her choose again. Let her define success, peace, love, and purpose. Identity shifts happen quietly. Most identity shifts don't come with announcements. They happen in silence, in reflection, in prayers, in journaling, in the way you respond differently, in the boundaries you no longer explain. People may not notice immediately, but you feel it. Quiet shifts are often the deepest ones. You don't need validation for your evolution. The proof of change is in how you move, how you speak to yourself, how you choose peace over chaos. Who you are now deserves respect. The woman you are now deserves to be honored. She has survived. She has learned. She has waited. She has grown slowly and intentionally. She deserves boundaries that protects her peace. She deserves choices that reflects her worth. When you rewrite your identity, your standards rise naturally. You stop negotiating your values. You stop explaining your growth. You stop shrinking to maintain familiarity. Respecting who you are now is a form of self-love. Becoming is not erasing your past. Rewriting identity does not mean rejecting who you were. It means integrating her. The woman you used to be carried you here. She did the best she could with what she knew. You don't erase her, you thank her. Healing identity is about compassion. You honor the past without living there. You carry the lessons forward, not the wounds. Every version of you mattered, including the one that struggled. You get to define yourself. At some point, you stop letting the world define you. You stop accepting labels that don't fit. You stop internalizing expectations that limits you. You stop living according to who others think you should be. You decide. Defining yourself is an act of courage. It requires you to trust your inner voice more than external opinions. When you choose your own definition, your life begins to align with truth instead of pressure. Before you go, please take the time to like, comment, and share. Subscribe too if this message spoke to you. It helps more women find this podcast and join us in this becoming journey. The new chapter, a new name for yourself. As you step into this new chapter, you may find yourself answering that question differently. Who am I now? You may say, I am calmer, I am clearer, I am more patient, I am more intentional, I am still becoming. And that is enough. And before I close, I want to share something. My book, One Cocoa Full Basket. The Power of Patience, Consistency, and Small Steps. This book speaks directly to this season of identity rebuilding. It's a reminder that becoming doesn't happen all at once. It happens one small, faithful step at a time. If you're learning who you are now, this book will walk you gently. This book will walk with you gently. The link is in the description. Check it out for me. And in closing, rewriting your identity is not about rushing to become someone else. It's about returning to yourself with more compassion, with more clarity, and more truth than ever before. Honor who you are now. Protect who you're becoming, and trust the process between. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, remember, you are already her. You are just learning her name again. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me today. Blessings, light, and love. Carve me into gold. Turn my fears into stories untold. I exude power like the stars at night. respect they show. I'm risen above.